Yes, baby.
So it's Siyabonga, Scoop, Ngwekazi, and then you can
Whatever you're comfortable with as well. Baby's also fine.
I am so dead.
Let's start.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Relebogile Mabotja Podcast, where I bring interesting people your way and I have kind of cool chats with them. And today, we're not just having a cool chat, we're talking to a cool cat. And I describe him as cool cat because he's just cool and I feel old in his presence, that we're probably the same age. Give it up for Scoops, Ngwekazi in the building.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the intro. You never know what, when people can call you intelligent, you know what to do with those compliments. People call you, whatever, But when people call you cool, you really don't know what to do with that, Because there's someone on the other end going, you're not that cool. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.
How old are you at the moment? Because in my mind, we're the same age.
I'm turning 43 on the 16th of April. When is the show airing?
Probably after, so you'll be 43 by the time this goes out.
Yeah, 43
My
this year.
goodness. So you're older than me by 3 years, but you still look like you could get away with saying you're 32 and I'd believe you.
Amen. Shout outs to God. Shout outs to the ancestors. Shout outs to the genetics of mom, dad. Siyabonga kakhulu. I guess that's why we call Siyabonga, because we're going to be thankful for these genes.
I don't remember where we met the first time.
It was a long time ago, though. That's what I can tell you.
Was it Red Pepper?
It might have been Red Pepper, which will put it around, I got your 2006 Street Journal, 2 years, 2008, 2009.
It must have been Red Pepper.
Yeah.
Did you go to Rhino Bar?
Oh, a lot.
Do you remember the Rhino Bar?
A lot. Yeah, definitely.
You were there every Saturday.
Yeah.
You know who I was going with to Rhino Bar? David Pume and Sizwe.
Yeah, no, we were there. We were there. We loved it so much. Those days.
And Musa.
No, Musa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Those are at the same time, yeah, round about those times. So we've known each other for a while. We haven't chatted much, though.
I know.
That's why I'm definitely taking this invitation to come through to the podcast and come chat with you. I've always been intrigued by the voice. I've watched your work, but we've never really chatted.
Yes, and I'm just, you speak about Street Journal, which I think like that era of TV was the era that was making superstars.
Yeah.
Like, and I often have these meetings with broadcasters where I'm presenting talent to them. And they're like that chain of what used to happen of kids, presenters being groomed into is no longer there.
Yeah, and I think our era also, we can't think it was just us. I mean, I just saw Mel just walk out the studio, studio mix.
Hello.
You know what I mean? That era, watching her, Fresh, Bob Mabena, Teach Mataz, Bad Boy T on Waza Weekend. Even down to Felicia Mabuza Subtle with her Q&A, sort of like sit-down style. You didn't know that you were taking these things in as education then. But I can tell you now, that was like a bulk of my education in the way that I do what I do now, because I used to spend ample amount of time consuming television, because also programming then was kind of beneficial. The Take Fives, so educational. You got Tim Horwood, you've got Zem Nkosi, who I just ran into the other day with Zep Mag. These people, Isaac Chokwe, that show that was called Grab. I can list these shows from the top of my Venolia,
Hello.
There's a whole lot of Venolia in the way I do. Yeah, the Gem Alley days. And then the Eskel from, what's that guy's name? Nimrod Ngosi. Yeah, I come from that era, and you also remembering the SABC 1 guys when they used to have the presenters. The presenters were like the cool kids at school.
Yeah.
There was a school, but you never sat with them. The Clemmer Wissers, who's Pepsi Pokwane.
Yes.
I mean, that era was crazy, and every Christmas they would have like an all-white jingle that they would sing. You just wanted to be part of that.
And the continuity presenter era.
Yeah.
So when you look at the current era, not just of television but media and how it grooms talent, so do you think that this era has like made the craft get better, or do you think it's kind of like diluted?
It's definitely diluted the craft, and I think this era has diluted a lot of creative crafts. If you're looking at DJing, they suffering on that side. Musicians, they talking about it on that side. AI is about, can I swear here?
Yes.
It's about to up art.
Why does everyone come here and want to swear here? I mean, I'm down for that. But
No, it's not that we want to swear.
No, it's hilarious that everybody
Because it's
comes and goes,
broadcast.
Can I
So
swear?
we want to be as normal as possible.
Yes.
So
Be
when we're
yourself.
on radio or these other platforms, we're not ourselves because we're censored.
Yes.
So when you are doing podcasts, you obviously want your stream of consciousness to come out as naturally you. So because we come from broadcasting, like you have to make sure that your production looks good because broadcasting has imprinted that in you. I guess we have to ask that, you know? But it's also nice that we can. So yeah, it's diluted it a lot. I think maybe it'll get to a point where it makes it better. I think the way it makes it better now is the people that have the skill in some way are more exposed to the techniques and technology. That's what's gotten better in this time.
Yes.
Not the actually craft, but the techniques and the technology that help get things to look a certain way at a quicker rate. That has really helped. So I think when craft and talented people mix with the technology and the techniques of this time, there's an explosion that's going to happen. And obviously the other people won't be able to swim in the shallow or deep end of the talent pool.
I kind of feel like you still are a voice for pop culture, hip hop in particular. And it looks to me, and I could be completely wrong, you come from the era where, you know, somebody would want to know your opinion on a song, where people on radio were authorities on what is great. And now we're in a new era where I don't really think people see the radio DJs as authorities. What do you think you did differently, or was being done differently back then? You know, you were with Sizz and Scoop, and it was such a big part of the culture at the time.
Yeah, it's all this accessibility, man. It's kind of like messed things up. You know, back in the day, you really had to live this thing. You had to research this thing. You had to jump through hoops to get to this thing. So you cherished it. Like even with the way music is now, the easiness of being able to make a beat and make the music is also kind of like congruent to how easy it is to get it. Back in the day, an artist would go through things to make the music because they have this relationship with the fan and the consumer who is buying this thing as a healing. Because they need these lyrics. They need to match their life to what this artist went through so they can find a tunnel in this dark, a light in this dark tunnel that they're at, you know? It was a symbiotic relationship because the artists also needed to purge and release and sort of heal themselves by laying the tracks down. And it was the artist who was the musician or rapper. Then you got the beat person. So it wasn't just one person. The healing was communal. Do you know what I mean? So it's like an ecosystem. It's indicative of life. You know what I mean? So this is big. It's actually very spiritual. And music is a very spiritual thing, you know? So especially music that has to do with you uttering words, because words form worlds, you know? So it's really, really, and this is why hip hop is such an emotive and is such, I don't know what to call it, but it's such a culture that it is, you know? These guys rap about things before they have them. They rap about diamonds, they rap about Bentleys, they rap about big houses, they rap about these women. And in 2 or 3 years, they have these things because umlomo uyadala kuchiwa ngesixhosa. So that is why, even now, if you look at what the culture and what the music has been swayed to talk about, and you see what is happening in society, you know what I'm saying? The worlds they are creating through the music are now becoming 3D in real life. They dying, they go into jail. You know what I mean? All these things are happening, especially in America. And I'm afraid because I feel like it will happen here sometime soon, or maybe sometime not now, because we mimic everything. So when these kids start mimicking that culture, like we've mimicked the drug culture, it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna mimic the gang culture. And I don't want to be around for that, you know? So that was the thing about back in those days. You had to live it, you had to like cherish it, and that relationship, because you as a fan find this musician and you akin yourself to him, and then you find people that like him. Now you're a community. Then when you really grow, you become a tribe. You know what I miss? Do you remember like having days that you'd schedule to go to Musica? To like listen, get the CD and you stand and listen. Guys, the number of trips I made to Eastgate, the Zone, just to go to the Musica. The Zone one had a dope one. Right. A great choice, And then there was that listening station. With the earphones and the disc player. With the skip. I remember those. And we weren't worried about germs either. You know, no one was worried about germs. And today, like, you know, cancel this place. Where are the wet wipes? It's like a lot. We were sharing everything. And there's something, and I know that people are going to be like, oh, millennials are so like nostalgic. But I genuinely believe we are the generation, and it's not likely there'll be another generation that went through as many massive technological advancements as we did. So now, this current generation grew up where the internet was there, and all the future possibilities, they've seen it. So when it happens in real life of, oh, I just have a robot at home, it's not going to be weird. Whereas we went from yellow pages and a map book to get your audition and landlines. And then internet happened, and then mobile cell phone. Like, we experienced that all. It's crazy. In one lifetime. It's really crazy. And the fact that we've adapted to it so well. Now we're going to be dealing with AI. Like, it's insane. It's insane. If you think you're not intelligent, I think twice. Because if you are coming from 82, 90s, thousands, and we're now here, and you've managed to grapple and excel with all these changes, you are a master evolutionist, like for real. You give yourselves a round of applause there, people. How have you managed to survive? This is what, your 20, what year? It's my 23rd year. 23rd, damn. How have you survived the industry? And let's just start with money. Because there is the cycle that happens where really successful and you are getting multiple gigs, and it will feel like the money's just always going to be there. I went through that phase as well, enjoying soapy salaries, and then it's done. And then it's like regrouping. Like, how did you figure it out? I don't think I figured it out, but I do think I did better than most. And one of my first rules was, don't take soapy jobs. Really? Because comfort. Yeah, so one of the things that I came into the game was like, I'm not gonna take comfort, one, so that I don't fall into that trap. And soapies are the trap in SA. Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you can be there for 10 years, and then if they cancel it now, over. You can't get hired, you can't anything. Till this day, I haven't done a soapy. Wow. Yeah, and I've had offers, but I'm just like, no. But did you not go to Rhythm City for a cameo? No. You didn't? No, not at all. I swear, I've never done a soapy in my life. Not even a guest appearance? Not even, my nigga. So you were always presenting to camera and doing the radio thing? And acting. Yes. I did acting. And what else? And then just clothing. See, that's another. I came in an era where like there was the Pharrells, the Kanyes, and I don't think the guys before me, like a Bad Boy T, didn't have that kind of person to look out to or look out for, you know, or look up to.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about time and things. Like people always say it's a big world, blah 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 blah. It definitely. Oh, people always say it's a small world.
Yes.
But it's actually a very big world. The way things happen lets you know that nothing is an accident and everything is calculated. You need to hone your senses and eyes to realize what is going on around you and what is it for.
Yes.
And I've always had that kind of thinking since I was a young kid, growing up in PE, wanting more than what I had to grow my senses. I had to grow my instinct. I had to grow my gut feeling, you know? Because I always knew that I wanted more, and that place didn't have it for me. But it was definitely a great rooting and starting point for me, you know? That is. I really never thought about money the way people do think about money. And I know it's cliche, but it is the way it is. When I came in here, I really was like, if I affect people and impact people and change people's lives, the universe will have no choice but to look after me because I'm looking after its people.
Yes.
And I still maintain that mentality till today, you know? So that was my big thing, was like, let me impact people and not think about the money. Secondly, let me take jobs that deal with expression and not the check.
Ooh.
Yeah, bo? Because then the way I will attack work will make me a monumental figure that will always have work.
Yes.
You know? Then I got into, like I said, the Pharrell stages. Then you learn that, Pharrell started off as a producer. Then he realized to make more money and become a star, I need to rap. Then after rapping, he started his own label. Then after starting his own label, he then had his own clothing label.
Yes.
You see, now I'm like, okay, then comes a Kanye West after Pharrell.
Yes.
So now I'm like, okay, let me start presenting. Okay, let me do radio. Okay, let me start a clothing label. Okay, let me do a production company.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? So these things kind of helped as well.
Yeah.
And then people would say I spend a lot of money on clothes, and definitely
I was about to say, I feel like your sneakers are probably...
I used to spend a lot of money on sneakers back then. Definitely, I used to, even clothes, you know. But because in South Africa, it was street style. See, in SA, people think the expensive things are only the Louis. They need to look a certain way. They are not very familiar with this kind of look being expensive, you know. But trust me, yeah.
So, as somebody who's not a cool kid, talk me through what you're wearing.
Thank you for asking that question. Oh my God, I thought you'd never ask.
And you need to start at the top with the cap.
Yeah.
Because how much of it is your brand? Like, tell me about
None of this is my brand.
Yes.
None of this is my brand. It's a brand I'm in love with at the moment.
Yes.
And that's another thing about this not cool thing, but this urban youth culture thing.
Yes.
Or culture thing, or streetwear thing.
Yes.
You always getting in love with something else and collecting something else.
Yes.
You know, you're growing, new people are designing stuff that talks to the ethos of your development. So you kind of like lose interest in what you were doing and get onto new things quickly. So right now, my favorite artist who comes from the house of Kanye West is undoubtedly Travis Scott. You know?
So were you the first to buy tickets, or they've already booked you the MC?
Yeah, no, I got him on the line. He said he's cool. Why are you laughing?
Wait, tell me.
Why are you laughing?
No, tell me exactly what you mean you got him on the line.
No, me and him, we're on WhatsApp. Like from the last trip. Yeah, we're good.
You for real?
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it.
Ow.
I'll tell you all about it. I'm joking. I'm kidding, man. But I wish. And Travis is like a...
No, we're putting it out to the universe.
Yeah.
You guys
I think I will be working at the show.
Okay.
They'll be doing a disservice to themselves and the people if they don't hire me for something.
For something
On that show. So he's a very dark artist.
What do you mean by that?
Like, when you see his videos, his visuals, the way he dresses, it's very dark. He does not try to be palatable to people, which is what I like, because I don't try to be palatable to people as well. He's very abrasive. He's very rough. He's very sandpaper, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? He looks like an African mask. He looks like a predator. He looks intimidating. You know, he's never trying to be clean. He's never trying to fit into a mold. I say he's so dark and shines so bright, you know? And then his music and sonics are just crazy. But anyway, he is a multi-talented producer and rapper and writer, does his own music, records his own music, also multi-talented, but then also designs merch. So his record label is called Cactus Jack. And then he's also got a seltzer, like a small seltzer made out of agave and something called cacti. Because cactus, one cactus, many cacti.
I am seeing it.
So this is the cap for the seltzer. And then this hoodie is a collaboration he did with a lot of people know the guy that did Bape, or does Bape, or did Bape actually, because it's past now. Nigo. Nigo got his whole education from a guy named Hiroshi Fujiwara in Japan. So Hiroshi started a label called Fragment.
Okay.
So Travis being Travis was like, a lot of people have gone to Nigo. Let me expose people to his master actual. So this is a hoodie, which is a collaboration between Hiroshi and Travis. The shirt is Cactus Jack. The pants are Cactus Jack. I love that you asked this. The socks are Cactus Jack. And then the shoes are also him. And then the chain, because I can't afford VVS diamonds, I ordered yet. I ordered a replica. Because this is the chain that he wears. So I ordered a replica chain so that I might be very aligned. And I'm a 43-year-old dad of a 14-year-old, but I buy replica chains because I'm a fan, and that's what I love about
myself. Can you just put your chain nicely around your mic?
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay, so I have to say there's something I admire about your commitment to, like, you've always been not following some kind of trend in terms of how you're dressing. So even you explaining this to me, I'm
getting excited.
I love watching you get excited.
I'm getting so excited.
Like how much effort you put into it. And I mean, outside of the fact that you've got your own clothing label, I'm very curious as to what word would you use to describe your style? Not just fashion style in jail, one word. What would you use to describe your style?
I don't have my label now. I did have it, but textiles is very expensive in South Africa.
And those button-up shirts were so fly.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, textiles are very expensive. But I'm planning to get back to it, right?
Okay.
And we will.
One word.
One word. I mean, the most simple one is eclectic. Sorry.
I support it.
Yeah. The most simple one that houses everything is eclectic. I can't lie.
Did you see the video of Lenny Kravitz at the gym in leather pants?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
Lenny.
you strike me as somebody who, if you're going to gym, you wouldn't compromise your look.
No.
You would be like Lenny Kravitz.
No. Lenny is something else when it comes to the way we are. I mean, Lenny is very stylish. Shout outs to Lenny. But my style is very functional.
Yes.
I don't do things that are not functional. Like I've never overdressed or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm usually underdressed for situations because comfort is my key. And because I come from a basketball standpoint, athletics and athleisure is my key.
I almost forgot about that basketball situation.
So I don't really try and do too much. I'm really trying to be very comfortable, very relaxed. And my dad taught me one thing, because obviously growing up in 82, apartheid was still around.
Yes.
He was always like, make sure you wear an outfit that you can run in. I'm serious. That still hangs with me till today. I'm serious.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
It's not, yeah. Back in those days, it was real. Yeah.
You never know when you need to run.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the one time I ran, and I think you might remember. Do you remember there was a concert at FNB Stadium, and they had like 4 stages, an R&B stage, a hip-hop stage, MC Light, The Brat. It was list 3 concert
No, I wasn't
stage.
in Joburg that time.
You weren't in Joburg? No, you must have been.
I
you
wasn't.
were not. Okay, so there was this concert. And it was huge. They were the biggest stars. It was so nice. Like, I remember MC Light jumping down, and I grabbed her hand, and then she slipped out, and I said, when the bread comes, I'm not letting go. There I was, what she was trying to move.
Wow.
So the last time, when you're talking about running, we're at the stadium now, and the concert is drawing to a close. All of a sudden, we see people running. As a black person, what do you do when you see people run?
You run.
Did we not run? Did we not run?
Did you
We
not find
still
out
to
why?
this day
Don't know
why we were running.
Shout
but I
outs.
remember being like, this is why you wear your kicks and you come at a concert.
Shout outs for keeping the code. The unwritten black code.
Which is when people are, no, we don't know why we were running.
Don't ask. Sometimes you don't even turn your head. You just go, oh.
When was the last
out.
time you ran away from whatever?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. Like in a dangerous situation.
Like, it could be dangerous, but a physical running away.
The last time I can remember was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
The only running I probably do now is like jogging or running after a basketball, running away from a defender on the basketball court.
Yes.
But the last time I think I want to tell the story more than anything.
Yes.
Hey, so this is at Durban, yeah, because I was studying in Durban at the time. And my friend and I are walking late at night in that Berea area.
Yes.
Berea Center. We're around that area. And then like a cop car comes and it shines its light on us. So we can see it's a cop car, but we're not sure because it's late at night. Hey, then we start running and we hide, you know. Hey, the dogs came and fetched us.
The dogs?
But we were like, we're not even suspects. Also not knowing your rights.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't know what we're running for. These are cops. We should feel safe in these guys' presence, but we're not. We ran, we hid away. They let dogs come bite us. And then only afterwards, they're like, no, we didn't think you guys were guilty. You guys were just running. We're like, well, what were we supposed to do, you know? They're like, why are you running from cops? We're like, it's Bali, it's South. Yeah, we don't know. But that was the last time
and
I ran for my life. They scratching things. Because we did like feed it some feet. There was 2 of us. It was one of them.
Gosh.
Yeah, no, we survived.
So did the cops apologize?
What are you asking? Is that a trick question? Cops, apologize. Apologies in South. Even our parents don't apologize here in this country.
Dude, you know how hard it is for our parents? They apologize by offering you food.
Yeah.
Or something.
If so. Do you apologize? I mean, even our ladies, apparently, I don't want to turn this into a fresh and fit podcast.
Oh my God.
But even apparently, our ladies have a very hard time apologizing.
I do apologize.
Awesome.
And it's not the apology which is like, sorry that you felt offended.
Yeah, no, those ones.
It's no. I really have to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, and I try to implement that in all my relationships, even with my teams and my staff. If I'm like, yo, that was actually, I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. I do try my best to do that.
I think apologizing is one of the most dopest things. I love people who can apologize. I know then who I'm dealing with and what I'm dealing with. If someone can go, you know what? I'm sorry, man. Even if you didn't think about it like that, even if I didn't know, but I get it now, blah, blah, blah. But someone who can really say, I'm sorry, and feel it and mean it, and you can feel it as the person being apologized to, I fucks with those people hard.
Not the sorry people. Sorry is
what the hell is sorry even?
It's like
I know. I'm just saying, like, what are you doing?
Just don't even. Are those glasses prescription?
No, they're not.
Because I realize that you wear glasses all the time. Do you feel naked without them?
No, I never used to wear them all the time. I do now. I smoke weed, so the tint helps
The tint does what?
The tint helps to mask the redness of my eyes because that's what marijuana
Are you
does.
ashamed that you smoke weed?
No, I'm not ashamed.
So
I just said it.
That people will see your
Because
red
I
eyes?
do deal in an aesthetic place.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. I'm smart, Mina.
So can I just tell you, you could also just not smoke and eat or drink.
Maybe you can do that, but I love smoking. So maybe allow me to do what I like to do. Because I like what I like. Kabla Steve Biko.
I'm going to tell everybody when we started this conversation, and I was like, okay, what are we calling you, Scoop? Sia, he said, you can call me baby. So if you really call him baby, he told me to. Speaking of baby,
yes,
you are a dad. What was that experience like from the time you heard till now you're dealing with a teenager?
It was scary. It's still, I think it's more common now. One, because I never wanted to be a father.
Really?
I did not want a kid. I really wanted to be a free-flowing soul on this earth because of a number of reasons. I love very deeply, and I felt like even that with my family, it's going to be hard to bury my people. You know what I mean? And I also don't want to be buried before them because it's going to be hard to hurt them leaving. I really love very deeply. So even pets, I'm not the kind of guy who has pets because I don't like the separation. It cuts very deep for me. And if I can choose it, which I thought I could do, and not having a kid would be great. Plus then, I do love my independence. And because I really believe I'm here to do what I want to do on this earth, what I've been sent to do, some of the things and some of the choices I make might not sit well, even with maybe my mom or my dad or my sisters, Even when I was young, I had a very deep sense of my mission is my mission, and I don't care what you think or say, I'm going to fulfill my mission,
Unfortunately, a kid does not care, especially when they're a toddler.
You know what I mean? But some you do kind of fold under your parents, but I didn't, even at a young age. So that I wanted to do things that have never been done in my family. Like I still want to go live in the jungle and escape the city.
What do you mean by live in the jungle?
Just to live in a place where I'll start building my own house,
really?
Making my own water, farming my own food. Yes, I do. But now, Lwandle is 14, so maybe we could do it together, but I doubt it. But having kids allows you you can't make certain decisions that are spontaneous for your whatever well-being. It might be financial, it might be spiritual, it might be emotional, it might be just damn well to travel,
Maybe God was like, this man needs some sort of anchoring.
It was great at the time, and I can't say that he hasn't served his purpose. I'm very thankful. I'm just saying that at that time, I never wanted a kid. Even now, I don't want a second kid. I'm cool.
I thought you were going to say, even now, I don't want the kid I got now.
No.
Why did you leave X? Because when we were preparing for the show, I was trying to find your fashion things, but you disappeared. Why did you leave?
What?
X, Twitter.
Oh, Twitter is a very toxic environment. Hugely toxic environment. And at the time where accounts were getting hacked,
yes,
and people could just say anything on your account, and I suffered a lot of those things. And I'm not a person that explains things very much.
Yeah.
So I just let things ride. But I just thought, let me leave this space because, like I said, I'm very much big into my well-being.
Yeah.
My space, my energy, even now, today was a bit tricky, but I managed. So I just don't feel like it serves me any purpose at all. Instagram is far more better. I'm a clothing guy, I'm a words guy, I'm a music guy, and I'm a work guy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to get more famous. I'm not doing this to make people jealous of what I have. I just genuinely really do love what I love, and I want people to see that love. And if it affects or impacts any other kid, that's all good. Twitter is just not, it just doesn't come with anything for me right now.
There is, now I do my best to not follow Twitter drama and things. And every time I interview people, I'm always just mindful about what is real and what it's not. Because you can see things and then just be like, okay, cool. But I just remember saying to the team, where the hell has Scoop been? Like, where's he been? What's he been up to? And I was trying to remember when last did I see you post anything. And then the thing that stood out is when I said, oh my gosh, there was something about a girlfriend. I couldn't remember the details, but I know that there was something about a girlfriend. So my question is, have you not always been a private person? And what
Exactly.
What was the reason that at some point you decided to express your frustrations and anger publicly?
Yeah. So that's the thing. I've always been a private person. I've never shared those kind of like details about my relationship at all, ever. And that's what I'm talking about. I've never even talked about the subject before, mind you. I think I have never dealt with it because But that's
also, it's happened years ago.
Yeah, but still, I've done podcasts, you know, but it's never come up. So that's the thing. Like, all of those tweets happened on my birthday, and I didn't send those things. Do you understand? So that was when I was like, and also at a time where you never know how really big you are in entertainment until there's a bad story about you.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing good, no one says anything. They actually hope you forget about the good shit happening or how good you are.
Yeah.
So the more they keep quiet, hoping you will forget. But when you do something bad, or when something bad is around your name, you just really learn how large you are, you know? So that was the big thing for me.
Did it blow up at the time?
What do you mean? I lost money, I lost dignity, I lost perception, I lost all these things.
Reputation.
Which was good, I won't lie, because sometimes you need to lose the things you've built up thinking that they are you. And that's what that was.
So how did that make you lose money?
Because the brands and the jobs are like, no matter, we can't hire you because even if I didn't beat a woman, I didn't do anything, but your name and the noise around it is not positive. It's not even, I mean, think about it. If you owned a company, you'd be very wary about who you align yourself to. You know what I mean? The person doesn't have to be a drunkard, didn't have to rape anybody, but the frequency and the vibration around your name is important. Very important.
I got you.
And that is what really, and also the fact that no matter how much you show people who you are, people want to have a version of you in their heads that they never want removed. Did you get me?
No, completely, because it makes a person feel better about themselves, right? If their perception of you leans into whatever biases you have.
Exactly. So they don't want to hear the truth. So that's why I didn't explain. This is the first time I'm talking about. And it happened on my birthday. So I know, like, this person, whoever did the like, really had it in for me. You know what I mean? And I am I'm not going to say I'm such a peace-loving dude, but I really don't. I don't try and start trouble. If there is trouble around me, it's because I really say what I feel. Whether you're going to take it in a good way or bad way, whether you don't want to hear it come from me, whether you don't hear it often, whether I know you or I don't know you, if you trample on my toes, you will know it.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you have. Yeah. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what you identify as. Ma ungithukumeza, uzoyazi ungithukumezile. That's one thing that I'll say about me. But other than that, I don't look to start anything with nobody. I'm very big on energy, vibration, frequency, karma. I'm very big on those things because I'm not big on the capitalistic system. I'm not big on knowing how to make money. I'm not big on shaking hands and knowing how to do business plans and isms and tricks. I'm not big. I'm big on real energy, which is why I last longer and why I end up where I'm supposed to end up and why I'm never without.
Yeah. That makes sense. So how are you feeling at the moment about Metro Awards? What was the last awards that you hosted live?
Channel O was in 2012.
Yo!
Yeah, 2012.
13 years later, how are you feeling about it?
Man, I am so confident. I am so thankful and appreciative for the Metro FM staff and the production crew for these awards, for selecting me alongside Loot, obviously, to be a part of this. Like, I'm so humbled, you know? After 23 years, you know, I didn't think I was dope. I knew I wanted to be dope. But it's hard not to accept myself as dope if I'm still getting hit up 23 years later. Do you know what I mean? It really does do something. It fortifies and solidifies your chi. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, like, the fashion is the big part of it. I'm so thankful that my clothes are not just going to be seen by a square and my regular algorithmic 200,000 people. Now it can go so many places, which is what I really love about TV, you know? Because I've always dressed like this. I didn't start becoming this person because I was on TV. I was always this person. And then TV just came and highlighted it to everybody else.
I think it's going to be such a nice breakthrough. Like,
for this era, for this time.
I'm reluctant to use the word comeback, but that's the only one that's coming to my mind. But like, I think it's gonna be such a dope comeback moment.
For sure it's gonna be. Speaking to this market, the old market as well, and also, guys, this is also, I mean, I've done so many interviews and we're talking about the hosting. The musicians, I really want to shout out them, because without them, this wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? The station wouldn't exist itself. But our musicians in the past couple of years have become such great ministers of foreign affairs for us. They become such great ambassadors to these states and countries for us. They've changed the perception of what our countries could be. And I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about the whole continent, but especially us, of course. And man, they've done an amazing job. And of course, like, highlighting and magnifying the Amapiano movement. I don't know how, but that's the beauty about things that are of that nature. You don't have to know how. You just have to be glad that you are alive to witness that they happened.
I had no idea you were this, I don't want to say woke, this aware, this
no one
spiritual.
Does. No one does, which is cool. I'm not
it's something for yourself.
I'm not the type of guy, like the relationship thing. There are some things that I don't want to shout from the rooftops. There are some things, like even with the clothes, I don't post this on my, like, yo, I'm getting dressed, you gotta see me. Like, this is for me. If so be it that you see it and you get it, cool. But I do it for me, to make me feel the way I want to feel inside, you know? So a lot of people don't, and I love that. You know, I love that. So that also, because people love putting you in this box. Now, you dress like this now, you're my man. Now, you spiritual, I'm a It's like, no, I'm just a person. An amazing one at that. You should try some of this amazing juice. You know?
What is dating like in your 40s?
It's good. I love it. I love it. Because the pool of women are 50, 40, 30, and we don't go past 25.
Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's amazing. And if you are a good-looking 60-year-old, you can get it too. So, yeah, it's beautiful. Plus, then, in terms of confidence as a man, you know yourself. You should. You know what you want. Sexually, you've been well oiled and groomed and trained if you've been keeping up with your reps, if you know what I mean. Barbecue, you were starving. Aye, that's on you, pa. So you need to be, you have good practice at this point, you know. Yeah, like I said, if you stay fit, whatever, and now you got money, you got your own place. Listen. Listen. Now, it's been nice like this since the 20s. Because we've been had our own place and money from the 20s. So you must understand how much practice we've had. We're Jordan right now.
Do you want to get married?
I would like to get married, but it's not something that if it doesn't happen, my life is like, oh, it didn't go anywhere. I definitely would love to share my life with an amazing woman and like travel, shop, you know.
Are applications open at the moment?
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. Damn right. Damn right, applications are open. Damn right. Yeah, I would. But also, like I'm saying, I've gone through a phase where I've been alone for a long time. And I feel it's going to take a lot to leave where I'm at, to go meng myself met iemand. Yabo?
Your person.
Yabo, I've just been so comfortable, but I definitely would love. The thing is, I don't want to have sex with different people. If I do date, like one of the big things will be because I need a prominent and a consistent sexual partner.
Okay, so would you do a situationship?
I think I'm always in situationships.
What do you mean?
That's the problem.
You're always
That's the problem. The problem is that I'm always in situations. I need a relationship.
You are the problem. I think you're the problem. Are you a commitment phobe?
No, I'm not. There's just too many options. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm a man in South Africa. And I travel. I don't know. Let's not lie. Let's not lie here. There are options here. When you're going to the cereal bar to go get cereal there at ShopRite Checkers or Woolworths,
yes.
You're like, I know what I wanted. This is what I wanted, but I can't help looking at all these pokomos.
I'm a weak pigs.
Angela, we're just keeping the 1,000.
Oh my gosh. What is next for you? Like, what should we be looking out for? You've already told us you're going to do the fashion label thing. I'm expecting a shirt. Thank you. Those printed shirts were dope.
Nice. Thank you.
What's next?
Next, it's happening around about now. There's an agency that we've started with friends of mine, and it's nice to work with friends. It wasn't nice back then, but I think now, growing up,
because you were not. Medulla was not.
Yeah, but
oblongata.
Yeah, Medulla was not oblongata. Okay, you got that.
That's not it.
Yeah, well, so I'm doing agency work. I'm very good with creative directing.
Yeah.
Aligning a brand, synthesizing the ethos of this brand, developing strategy via language and aesthetic, and then visuals, and for its market. I'm very good at that. Obviously, because I think the education of Jordan, Nike, sneakers, then streetwear, all the education that I gained being a part of that, being a part of it and taking, what I want to say?
You are within. You are immersed within. Participating.
Yeah, I was participating in that. So that education came there. So there's that agency that we're working with now. I've got my own production company, television. So the agencies for the brand work, the television production companies, obviously to push television ideas. And then the clothing will then be to design the stuff that I cannot find on the shelves that I have to order overseas.
And then number 4 is getting Travis Scott in your WhatsApp.
Yeah. Maybe it'll happen. Actually, I don't want him in my WhatsApp. Apparently, he's a mean guy. But I do want to interview him. Let me be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I do want to interview Travis Scott, definitely.
That's very accessible to me.
Yeah. And we're putting it out there to the universe. He's landing now in October. And hopefully, somewhere, somehow, we can engage in an interview. I promise you, I'll probably give him the best interview he's ever had. And it'll get to the point where he's going to have to say it. He's going to be like, shit, bro, like, I had to fucking fly all the way, because that's how he'll talk. I had to fucking fly all the way out of South Africa for the best interview in my career. Shout outs to you, dog.
Are you and Sizwe tight?
We were.
You were tight.
We were.
I mean, yeah, it happens. We
Yeah.
grew up and all of those things. What was your guys' relationship like? Because sometimes people tolerate each other for that 3-hour radio slot.
Yeah.
But you guys actually had a relationship.
Yeah, we had a relationship even before radio.
Yeah.
Because we studied together in Durban.
Yeah.
So, for 2 years, every day, we saw each other, you know? And we were part of like a wider friend group, which he got introduced to, and then he introduced us to his friend group. So we were like the people on the side, and we met, then our friend groups crossed, you know? So we were really tight with Sizwe. And it was a relationship based on, we loved hip hop a lot. Like, we were scientific about our love for hip hop. Even before we became broadcasters.
Yes.
Yeah, bo? He was never really a clothes guy, still is not. And I am. I never drank. He never drank.
Yeah,
So back in those days, I was also a preacher. Like, I was a preacher for like 3 years in Durban. So
You were?
I was the leader of the students ministry from 2000 to 2003. So I also get that. That's how we met, you know.
Yes.
We had commonalities on tertiary. Everybody just wants to like drink, and we took life very seriously at a young age. We had goals, we had ideals put in our head by hip hop. So we're like, if these niggas are living this life, I'm sure there's some scraps we can hook up here in SA, you know. And I played basketball at the time, so it was a sport that he also loved to watch. So normally from watching it on TV, the varsity games that I was involved in gave him a chance to see it up close and personal. And he was my first introduction to technology, because Sizwe used to battle overseas MCs on the computer using the internet, you know? So yeah, like, we just used to have intellectual conversations, and we called our conversations DTG, dissecting the game, because we dissected everything. We dissected everything. We dissected people, we dissected culture before television.
Yes.
So to get on television and radio to do this was like, together, was like chump change for us, you know?
Yes.
We did see each other this December in Durban. After like years of not seeing each other, and yeah, we had a good time, talked, and that's that. But I just think we are different people, and the separation is what it is. But there's no bad blood at all.
Yes, yes. Thank you for coming, and just thank you for agreeing. I have this thing where I'm like, oh, these cool young kids. I see you still as a cool young kid. I think you could still host a show on YFM, because there's something youthful about you. But just, respect, and just, I'm so happy to have learned so much about you today.
Thank you so much. I also appreciate coming here. And I always say, you know, like, interviews, the right interviews, or the ones that come at a certain time. Yeah. They're like almost like therapy. They allow you to look at yourself, unpack yourself, you know, through someone else's eyes. So I always love doing these kind of things with people that know how to ask poignant questions and are not afraid to ask some questions, and do it without them feeling like they're trying to catch you out, or, you know what I mean? All those media tricks. But so I enjoyed this a lot. So thank you very much. And thank you for asking about what I was wearing. Punishment! I'm punishing you! You are being punished!
Guys, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know who else you want to see on the show. Scoop!
Yes.
Oh, man. Mad love.
Thank you so much.
Love.
Thank you so much.
Mad love. Guys, till next time, don't forget, let me know who else you want to see here. Comment down below. I'll make sure Scoop answers your questions. What do you want to know? Ooh.